Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we're having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. My name is your Matriarch JoJo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? I hope you guys caught the show on yesterday. Yesterday we talked about getting in the habit of demanding the truth from yourself. Get into the habit of demanding the truth for yourself. That will be life-changing, I promise. Because once you can begin to demand the truth from yourself, people will notice that you ain't taking no stuff, and they will act accordingly. Until such time, they'll bring whatever they assume you will take to you. So, that's not what we're going to do. So, good morning. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. Don't forget, we do have a podcast. Yes, I am revamping it, but you can still catch up on old episodes. It is the Live Past Crazy show. Thank you. All right, so let's get right into the quote of the day. The quote of the day: the truest wisdom is a resolute determination. And that's by Napoleon Bonaparte. The truest wisdom is a resolute determination, meaning I don't care what, this is happening. And there have been days where that has gotten me through. Like, I knew that the end was going to be something different, and I just refused to believe anything else. One of my quotes is inside of you is a resolve to live. It is so strong. It can take you and it can overtake you and make the impossible possible, just like it can overtake you and make things impossible. So you get the option whether you allow that to overtake you and make the impossible possible, or allow it to make it impossible. It's all your decision. Every last bit of it. So, welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. I like that quote. The truest wisdom is a resolute determination. So let's go right into the thought of the day. And I thought we would revisit this again because I think now it is needed. This is Mental Health Month. I did a live last night. We talked about mental health and what mental health looks like, what depression looks like, because this is Mental Health Month. And so I did a live last night talking about what depression looks like for some people, what it looked like for me, and how I worked through it. So please make sure you catch that video and share it with someone who may need it. So I think this is essential today, what we have going on, or even if you are suffering from depression or whatever, I think this is a great topic. How to increase your confidence. So there's 12 steps, and I got this from, I read it in a book. So there you go. I can't remember which book I read it in, but I read it in a book. And so it's talking about building confidence. And these 12 steps are really great. I eventually came back and added some to it myself, but I can't remember what book I got this out of. But it's building or increasing your confidence. And there's 12 things that you need. Number one, of course, is to pray. Or if that's what you believe in, pray, ask. Number two is to proclaim your uniqueness. Number two, to building your confidence, is proclaiming your uniqueness. We forget oftentimes that we're not like everybody else. There is not another JoJo in this world at all. No, it's just me. So proclaim your uniqueness and then be okay with that. Like, be okay. Stop. I tried to feel like I wasn't nerd enough in high school, and I played sports, but I wasn't sporty enough either. And so I was just kind of lost in the middle. People really didn't pay me any attention. I had friends, but I didn't really fit in with anybody. And so I had to figure that out. So number one is pray. Number two is to proclaim your uniqueness. Whatever that may be for you, allow it to stand for you. Number three is affirm your game plan. And y'all, remember we talked about on last Friday that we are Mayflowers. What is our intention? Writing it out and planting that seed. That's your game plan. And remember we talked about you're a small business of you. And there's 8 departments that you run as a small business of you. But you've got to know how you operate in certain things. So number 3 is affirm your game plan. Plan, practice, prepare, and proceed. Write out what it is that you want to achieve. Write out, affirm your game plan. Look at it and say, JoJo, this is what I'm working. You ain't got to tell me, but I'm talking to myself. JoJo, this is what you're working towards every day. This is your goal. This is why you do what you do. Affirm that game plan. So when you're 50 days in and then you feel like you're starting over on day 1, that's when you read that game plan and remember why you started. Number 4 is celebrate every victory. Y'all hear me all the time say we celebrate all wins. The small ones are just as big. I think the small ones are even better because it means you made a step towards something. And you're not just sitting there. And don't allow your friends and your family who say, girl, you just do way too much. You hurt my brain. I don't understand. It was never meant for them to understand. But don't allow the point is your activity is highlighting their inactivity, which may cause some friction, problems, or slick mouthness, as I like to say, among the group. Who you think you are doing this? Why are you trying to change now? You've been doing this for so long. It worked for me. You trying to say what I'm doing wasn't good enough? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I want something different. So let's celebrate all of our victories, even the small ones, because it's all the small ones that make the great victory, because it's the consistency, because what is consistent is what is true. So it's the things that you do every single day that bring you big wins. Number 5 is fail forward. You're not a failure if you tried and it didn't work. You want to know why? Because you tried something no one else tried before. And it's you who's doing it, not them. So when you fail, you want to fail forward, because you can say, I know I tried this thing, and you learn something. Just like, a baby falls forward. They don't fall backwards. They usually fall forward, landing on their hands to catch themselves. Fail forward. At least you tried. You started the process when others did not. And I had to learn this the hard way. I could not take what I was thinking and what I was feeling to people who had never begun to try a process of anything. They were not going to be able to give me any information that I needed. Like when I wanted to start Waddell Consulting Services, when I wanted to start Bare Your Hair, Be Fearless, when I wanted to start my speaking career, I couldn't go to those people and say, now tell me, or I couldn't go and say, I'm thinking about starting a consulting business and this is what I'm going to do. And what do you think? They're not going to understand, because it's not meant for them to understand, number 1. And then number 2, it may not be the right group. So I learned the hard way that failing forward, right? And then sharing my wins and or my losses with anyone, I needed to be careful with the circles that I shared it in. And then, y'all know my pet peeve, in the beginning, I would get mad at my friends because I was like, do you not want to do this? Are you not excited about life? Because the natural progression of man is to be great, right? The natural progression of you is to be greatness. And so I was learning all these great things. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited. Let me show you. Let me teach you. And they were not excited. They could care less. They wanted to watch TV. And I was getting angry. Like, how can you watch TV? You're wasting your life away. And I was 38 hot until I realized that was not, it was my unique purpose, my dream. It wasn't theirs. And so I had to develop new circles. So, and I let them continue to be the function of my friend. It wasn't their space to be my business partner sounding board. They were my friend. To take off the titles and be JoJo and to be whomever. I then started to develop my purpose partner circle. And my purpose partner circle are trusted friends. And so there's 8 criteria to my purpose partner, because everything I'm asking for, I'm willing to give, right? In these group of people is I can come with, I'm having a hard day in my business, or I'm starting this part of my journey. And so I have a purpose partner that builds me up in the business area that I can talk to. And then I have purpose partners for the spiritual part of me that is growing in a different way. And I realized that I couldn't have a one-all be-all person, because that just wasn't going to happen. And so when you fail forward, be mindful of sometimes who you share it with, because you may have failed forward, but they can make you feel like that you failed completely. So when you climb a mountain, right? Oh, I'm a track runner. When you run track, how I'm breathing in that first lap is different. When I first start out, it's different than how I'm breathing in lap 7 and 8. Or if you're doing long distance, or when you climb a mountain, how you breathe here is different than how you breathe in here. So why would you ask someone who is sitting here, how do you breathe up here, and they've never started the journey? When you're here asking questions, but they're down there looking up. Sometimes you take the power of your question to the wrong person, because they can't answer you. You have a powerful question. It deserves an answer, but you're taking it to the wrong person. So, fail forward. Number 6 is give freely. Number 6, to boost your confidence, is to give freely. I figured that out when I was going through in the beginning of my journey. I was fresh out the shelter. I had to give back. Like, it became urgent that I give back. And now I do it where and I know you guys, if you've been a fan of the Fearless Morning Show, you've heard this. In my trunk of my car, or I go to the Dollar Tree and I buy good $25, $30 worth of the dollar umbrellas. And I have my old purses that I don't carry, or book bags. You know how you carry those little bags and stuff you get from little places? I get the toiletries that I've had from hotels or whatever, and I put them in the little purses or the bags. And if I see someone who needs an umbrella and it's raining, they're standing in the rain, I don't have to really show people that you're doing things. I simply pop the trunk and say, hey, grab your umbrella out the back. Grab whatever you need out the back. I don't care if they take it all, but it's urgent that because someone once gave to me. So if they take it all out, my feelings are not hurt. I'm not judging them. I'm not feeling any type of way. I pray that they continue to bless somebody else with it. I then go, why you started this journey, right? Why did you start this journey? So keep that commitment to yourself. That is number 7. You started this journey, and this is why. Commit to yourself. Number 8 is evaluate your relationships. Y'all know this is my favorite one. Evaluate your relationships. Look at those negative Nellies, Debbie Downers, and see how, this is Mental Health Month. What better time to take to look at all of your relationships and see how you feel when you interact with others. Be mindful of your energy bucket. Remember, we get 100% in our energy bucket every morning, right? So if you know Tammy's going to take 30% of your energy first thing in the morning, do you really want to give Tammy 30% of your 100 that early in the morning? Or do you want to wait till later in that evening when you have some extra left over? Then you can reassess what you have left over. Do you have enough energy to give to Tammy? And if you don't, you're not obligated to talk to her then. You can talk to her when you have extra energy, when you have saved up your energy money to spend with her. So evaluate your relationships. How do they make you feel? Like when you start something new, because my feelings got all the way hurt when I was excited about starting something new. Oh, I'm going to do this. And when I told the person, this is how you know they don't care. I ain't gonna say let me rephrase that. They don't care. It's not their position to be interested in it, because that's not what they do. Okay? Don't get your feelings hurt, and don't get mad because they are in their position, and don't force them to play another part. I was like, girl, I really think I'm going to open up this bookstore. And I've been researching and I'm excited and I'm looking at names for my bookstore. And, oh, well, yeah. But girl, let me tell you what I seen on TV yesterday. Broke my entire heart. And I realized I brought it to the wrong person. It wasn't for them to support me in that way. It wasn't. So it sets your relationships. Remember we talked about honoring other people's boundaries. So it sets that relationship. You can't sometimes you can't tell your best friend that you want to go back to school to finish your PhD. She not going to understand that. What she going to say is, but you got 2 kids though. And you got 2 kids. You already don't make enough money. You already work crazy hours. Who gonna keep the kids? How you gonna do that in your homework? Well, you know you gotta, cause in the PhD program, you know you gotta be away for a week for residency. And they got all the reasons why you should not go accomplish your dream. Sometimes that's when you evaluate your relationships. You may want to share something great with your friend, but it may not be the right friends you need to share it with, because they're not going to understand. Again, you're in a different place than they're at. So they're not going to understand your level of thinking, because this is what I want you to look at. Look at you right now. Look around you right now. 5 years ago, did you think like that? Do you think 5 years ago when you started this journey, were you thinking like you think now? Is your mindset the same as when you started? Are your goals different? Your confidence has increased, right? And now you have a different mindset, because here 5 years ago, your mindset was, oh, I don't know. I'm just going to watch this TV. I'm just going to hang out. And then something happened. My quote, I've learned never to close my mind to any idea simply because it's miraculous. You had an idea. I can go back to school. I can finish this. I can create a business. I can do this. You had, just for a second, you had that idea. And then you built on it. And you were intentional on building on it. And here you are 5 years later. Look at your relationships now. Where you were 5 years ago and where you are today. Where your friends and family were 5 years ago and where they are today. What is consistent is what is true. Don't get angry because they can. And here's the thing. My feelings was hurt because I was taking my excitement of my different mindset to people who were consistently this. Where I was consistently this. Now, it doesn't make you better than the other person. It does not. It means you wanted something different. Everyone is allowed to want what they want in life. But it means I wanted something different. So now when I have a question, because my mindset is here and their mindset is here, I cannot take my excitement and my question and bring it to them and expect them to understand. They're not going to. Don't get your feelings hurt. Because my feelings hurt was so, girl, I was crying. But why? She's supposed to be my best friend. Why she don't understand? I'm trying to better myself and my kids. Yeah, I know getting this PhD is going to be hard. Yes, I know I don't have a support system. I know all the cons. I'm looking for somebody to tell me a pro. But you brought it to the wrong person. That's not their job. You brought it to a friend and their job is just to shoot the breeze with you. If you want to have a different conversation, friend, then you need to have a different friend. So in this wonderful Tuesday, as we're talking about the 12 things that build your confidence, number 8 is evaluate your relationships. Evaluate who you talk to and why. And it's okay to keep your friend right where they are. It's okay. I had to learn that. I love my friends. I don't want no new ones. Not in that friend circle. Now, in my purpose partner circle, oh, absolutely. In my networking circle, yeah, I want to own a bookstore. Well, I need new people in this. I want to finish my PhD. Well, I need new people in this. I'm open to that. But, the people I just want to hang out with, and I can just be JoJo, and I'm not any, I'm just JoJo. We just shooting a breeze. Girl, how you doing? Girl, I'm fine. But when I'm ready to have a different kind of conversation, then I have my different circles. And I'll give you a piece of advice. When you first start out on this journey, you will be so excited about your change and what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish. That will be all you want to talk about. Your friends could care less. Some of them could care less. And they'll get sick of hearing you. Do we got to talk about that all the time? Because here's your conversation. Girl, let me tell you what I did in school today. Let me tell you about this professor. Let me tell you that. And you'll want to talk about that because it's exciting to you, not to them. And you want to talk about it all the time. So you'll have to be mindful yourself that that conversation may not belong to them. So evaluate your relationships. Number 9 is be patient with yourself. Grant yourself some grace, right? If you're increasing your confidence, number 9 is grant yourself some grace. And be patient with yourself. You are learning and moving outside of your paradigm that you're used to. Great morning, Miss Valerie. You're moving outside of something that you are not sure of. Because you were comfortable in this thing, but now here you are moving in something else. Your paradigm has shifted. Your mindset has shifted. So be patient with yourself and grant yourself some grace. Okay, don't be hard on yourself. Number 10 is love yourself unconditionally. Y'all, that's important when it comes to this journey, is that you begin to understand and love yourself alone. Because as you're failing forward, as you're growing, as you're evaluating your relationships, as you're looking to your friends and family to understand, your journey, you have got to love yourself unconditionally. Because there may be times and days where you don't have that. You're just building your sister circle, or you're just building your purpose partners, and you don't have anybody to talk to when you're frustrated and angry, or you don't know the answer and you just need to talk it out, or you get mad because you made the wrong decision. That's when you got to love yourself unconditionally. That's when you are your own personal cheerleader and support system. That part is essential. Number 11 is master your emotions. Because sometimes, remember we talked about being big mad? Sometimes we're big mad about things that we shouldn't be mad about. So master your emotions, because your emotions can get the best of you. You can stay in that angered state, that mad, that frustrated state, and not move forward. You can stay in it and not move forward. You can allow what just happened to stop you in the middle of your journey. So master those emotions. Learn your trigger points. Learn what sets you up. Be like, oh no, not today. I recognize this, so I'm not fixing to participate with you on this morning. And recognize those habits in yourself. Recognize when you want to start procrastinating. Recognize that. Recognize when you want to give an excuse and then move past it. Number 12 is be proactive. That's so important, because when you begin on this journey, you are reactive. You are acting to something after the fact. And that's how you stay in crisis mode. That's how things always seem to catch you off guard. That's why you always have a problem. And that's why you can participate in those conversations, girl. And I stopped saying that. If it ain't one thing, it's another. You're inviting the other in. You're inviting trouble in. So I'm very mindful of not saying that anymore. I don't participate in conversations like that anymore. I just don't. I'm usually silent, or I redirect the entire conversation. So be proactive if you know what is going to happen, or you can foresee that what is going to happen. Be proactive. And so when you set out on this journey, you may not know all the steps, but if you can set yourself up the best way you know how, and that's protecting this here, so that you're seeing with your eyes and not listening with them, and that you are mindful of what goes in and what comes out of here, you can be proactive on your journey. So on this wonderful Tuesday, we're talking about building your confidence, increasing your confidence. And there are 12 parts to building your confidence. Okay? 12 parts. Number 1 is pray. Number 2 is proclaim your uniqueness. It's okay to be you. It is okay. And be okay with that. Proclaim your uniqueness. Nobody can be JoJo but me. Nobody can be insert your name but you. Number 3 is affirm your game plan. Plan, practice, prepare, and proceed. That means affirm your game plan is you understanding where you want to go and what you want to do. writing it out. Remember we talked about you are a seed and planting that seed and watching that seed work itself out and grow. That is your game plan. What is it going to be? Write it out. 4 is celebrate every victory. Y'all know I love this part. We celebrate all wins, period. We're celebrating day ones because your day one is different than yesterday because today you started. Yesterday you thought about it. Today you're in the action phase of it. So celebrate all those wins. Number 5 is fail forward. At least you tried. You can't tell me you don't like something, you didn't do something if you never tried. So fail forward. And then when you fail forward, be mindful of who you share that with. Because sometimes your friends and family can eat you alive and make you think you should have never tried in the first place. And then you never will. You won't try again. So when you fail forward, get up. Try again. Try again. Do it again. It's going to work. You learn from it. You add more to it. You take some away. But the important part is that you get up and you do it again. Number 6 is give freely. Giving is going to help you understand the process. And I don't know if I can even articulate that correctly myself. But in the giving, when you seem to be in the midst of turmoil, of crazy, it is in the giving that gives you relief. I don't know how to explain that, but it's true. So give freely. Number 7 is keep the commitment to yourself. Honor yourself with yourself. Demand excellence from you. Demand that you keep your word with yourself. Okay? So keep the commitment to yourself. Jojo, this is why you do this. And remind yourself on those days where you feel like, what in God's name am I doing? Why am I even here? Lord, I don't understand. Remind yourself. Keep your commitment to yourself that you started on this journey. Number 8 is evaluate your relationships. It's Mental Health Month. What better time? Yes. Thank you, Valerie. That's what it was. Giving takes the focus off you and your situation. Absolutely. And it allows your mind, thank you, it allows your mind space just for a minute to think on something else. And in the background, now your mind is free to work. Because sometimes it's so focused, it can't see the answer and sometimes you need to, I tell my kids, relax your brain. They're like, Mommy, how do you do that? I said, if you take a deep breath and you think about something else, it allows the part of your brain that's working really hard to relax just for a minute and the answer will come. I promise. So so evaluate your relationships is number 8. So look at the people around you. What better time than Mental Health Month to evaluate your relationships? Who is stressing you out? Who is driving you crazy and up a tree? And is it something that you can live with or no? Or are you just dealing with it? So look at your relationships. How are you spending your energy money every day? Okay. Number 9 is be patient with yourself. Please be patient with yourself. You're doing something you never done before. You are failing forward. You are learning. And being patient with yourself, you've got to be careful again with who you share those thoughts and ideas with, because as you're learning to be patient with yourself and grow, others don't understand that process. They don't know what you're doing. So they expect you to be great and amazing right now, but they don't understand the process. Because a lot of people want the instant, oh, I want to be rich, or I want to own a business, or I want to do this, but they don't understand the process of what it takes to get there. And so when you start the journey, they are going to want the same thing from you. They're going to want you to instantaneously be it, when that's not how it works. When you start this journey, you realize it's a process. So be patient with yourself. And don't allow outside forces to rush you to do something that you may not be ready for, or to convince you that where you are right now is not the right place for you. Girl, you should have been. Y'all, lesson learned. Please take it from JoJo. Okay? Lesson learned. Girl, you should have been farther ahead than this. The morning show should have been here by now. You should be doing this with the Fearless Morning Show by now. You should be here. And the person who was telling me where I should be and why I'm not here had never done day one of what got me here. Feelings, my feelings, that's why number 11 is master your emotions. My feelings was hurt. Here I am getting upset, mad, feelings hurt because someone who has never started the journey was trying to tell me I should have been further along, or I should do this, and maybe if I'd done that, then I would be better off. But they had never done day one. They were still in one day. One day, girl, but they had never even done day one. They didn't know nothing about failing forward. They had no clue about waking up early in the morning or preparing the night before for the show, getting everything set up, getting up early in the morning, so that they didn't understand the process. And so when you are on this journey, y'all, you got to be mindful of that, okay? Evaluate your relationships. That is essential. Evaluate your relationships, because you could be getting upset. You could be getting angry. Your feelings could be hurt from some person, place, or thing who has no idea of what it took for you to get here. It wasn't their process in the first place. And that's why I had to stop getting mad at my friends who didn't understand what I was doing. Girl, you do too much. And I was sharing it with them and they didn't care. So I had to then find my group of people, my purpose partners, my tribe, who I could share it with, who understood the journey. So you're trying to share it with someone who doesn't care. It's not that they don't care about you. They don't care about the journey because it's not theirs. They just want you to instantaneously be great. And they want the rewards of saying, that's my friend, look at her, she's doing this. And they want that. So you've got to evaluate your relationships. This is Mental Health Month. If you missed my video last night, I talked about what does depression and postpartum look like. So make sure you catch that video. So that was a key part of my growth, evaluating my relationships and putting people where I needed them to be, and not forcing them, and keeping them where they wanted to be. And not because I couldn't take my friend and force her to understand me wanting to go back to school. That wasn't her. She was satisfied with sitting on the couch and watching TV as soon as she got home all day for the rest of the evening. That was okay with her. It wasn't with me, and I couldn't get mad. I was messing up the friendship because I was demanding more of her than what she wanted. That was my fault. Because she was very clear what was important to her. But you know, JoJo trying to change the world. I wanted to motivate her to do more when she didn't want to. She just didn't. So that meant I had to find my circle of people who understood what I was doing. Okay? So evaluate your relationships. Look at who you know, the power of your question. You have a question about your next step. You have a question about how you want to grow and where you want to go. But be mindful of who you're asking that question to, because you're giving the power of your question to someone who's never asked a question before in their entire life. They've only accepted life. They've never questioned anything. So be mindful of the power of your question. You are working towards something, doing something that they may not understand. It does not make you any better or any less than them. It simply means you desire something different than. So let's not be arrogant in the growth, but let's be mindful of the growth. Let's be mindful of our relationships and who we take them to, what feeds us, what brings us the little foxes that eat up the garden. Remember in the book of Solomon, it says, the woman said, we got to tend to our garden, because if you don't tend to your garden, the little foxes will come in and start eating away at the fruit that you've been bearing. Be mindful of those little friends who come in and eat away at you. Girl, you really gonna do that? Your hair look cute. Why you don't wear, this is my pet peeve. Why you don't wear your hair straight all the time? You just look so much better with your hair straight. So you're trying to say I'm ugly with my hair in braids? I don't look right with my hair natural? Because this is natural. This is the power of a blow dryer. No, what I'm saying is, girl, is that you look so much better. Like people, no. So be mindful, yes, of the small little foxes who come and dig at you and snap. And they are snapping at your ankles. And guess what you're doing? Looking down at them and not paying attention to where you're going. You're looking down, you're jerking your ankle away, and you are distracted from your destiny. Some of them may not mean it on purpose. Some of them have no idea they're doing it because they're so used to complaining and not understanding that there is goodness in life. Because some people can't even begin to comprehend that there is goodness in life for them to have, that they can have a good thought, that they can be loved. They have no clue that all they know is negativity and lack. So for them, that's normal. But if you allow their normal to take your focus off of your destiny, boo, you just lost your whole garden. You've lost every seed you ever planted in yourself. You've lost every idea that you ever thought, because you've given it over to the foxes now, who have snipped away at your ankles. And they have left you bruised, bleeding, tired, aggravated, because you're like, I can't fight them anymore. And some people do that on purpose. They want you to pay them some attention so that you don't focus on where you got to go. You don't focus on where you're going and what you're about to do, because they don't need you to go and be great. They need you to stay on their level so that they got somebody down in the trenches with them. But you cannot be your sister's keeper on the same level. I cannot be my sister's keeper if I'm on the same level of you. I've got to go and grow. And then along the way, I'm going to leave those things that's going to leave you clues so that you too can get to the next level. But if I give all attention to you snapping at my ankles, eventually I'm going to give up. How many people in your life do you know they've given up on their hopes and their dreams because mom and them kept nagging at them and told them they couldn't do it? Mamas, can we be mindful of what we tell our kids? You stupid. You're just like your daddy. You ugly. Those things, you are the fox nagging at your child's mind. Right now, they have no worry in the world other than them being great. But you are the one who are breaking them down. I want us to be mindful of that. So pay attention to the little foxes. So that's why you need to evaluate those relationships, okay? And put them in those places. I have days when I call my friends and I'm just shooting a breeze. It's just a release for me. And then I have my purpose partners who I call, and we are intentional about our conversation. We are intentional about where we're moving forward. We are thought processing it out. We are building legacies. We're doing that thing. And to my friends over here, that may not be important to them. And I can't, you got to know the power, what you bring and whom you bring it to. Because if you bring it to the wrong person, they're going to take it away from you. And then you will begin to second guess yourself in your journey. But you gave your power away, boo. Be mindful of that. So evaluate your relationships. Can we do that? Evaluate your relationships. Number 9, to increasing your confidence is be patient with yourself. Be patient. You're going to be okay. I promise. The main thing is that you tried. You can't tell me it's hard and you ain't never tried. Love yourself unconditionally is number 10. When you have those days where the foxes have eaten at your ankles and you're tired and you're exhausted, that's why I say there's 5 steps live past crazy. Number 1 is to be quiet. And that being quiet is where you learn to love yourself unconditionally. And some days, honey, I got to go take a bath and lick my wounds and be like, girl, JoJo, the world beat you up today. Yes, it did. But you know what, sister? I got you. You got me. Oh, yeah. Honey, let's take this detox bath, light a candle, put on your relaxing music, and let's just wash away the day. Let's wash away the worry. And you stay in here, sister, as long as you need to, and fill your cup back up so that you can go back out and serve again. You've got to begin to learn yourself unconditionally, or you will not be able to continue this journey for very long. You will wear yourself out. Number 11 is master your emotions. Don't be like JoJo. I'm over here with my feelings hurt because I bought the wrong thing to the wrong people who don't understand it. And because they reacted like they normally do, and I assume they wouldn't react that way to me because I was their friend, but they're just doing what they're used to doing. You bring it to your family and they don't react like you think they should react. They're just doing what they're normally doing. You're the one changing I want you to be clear. You are the one changing. Others around you may not be. You are the one who decided day one, I'm doing this. That's you. You can't get mad at the others around you who choose not to. But I don't want you to get arrogant because you're growing and they are not. I want you to continue to grow and be humble in your growth in such a way so that when someone comes to you, your friend or your family, like, girl, I was thinking, I saw you did that. How'd you do that? Because they don't understand how to come and ask you. So they're going to come with the attitude of it. Girl, I see you be doing that all the time. Now, why did you want to do that? That's their invitation for a conversation, for you to be humble, to say, girl, let me tell you, because it's really easy. Let me tell you, Steph, this is what you do. You got to leave that door open. And when you master your emotions, you're able to leave that door open and be humble when they come back and say, but Jojo, now tell me again how you did that. Now, you mentioned last time I talked to you, you said something about. Now, whatever happened to that? That's them asking because now you have planted a seed. And they're thinking maybe, well, JoJo is crazy. Let's give her that. But maybe she owns something. Let me find out more. Don't be arrogant at that moment. That's when you become humble and you answer that question because you are your sister's keeper. You have went ahead and you left the clues. And so now she's picking those clues up. Okay? So master your emotions. And number 12 is be proactive. Work towards it. Don't be reactive. You know what's coming. Work towards that thing. Be proactive. Know that you are on this journey and why you're doing it. Not reactive and afraid or, oh, I can't believe this happened to me. Plan for what's going to happen. So on this wonderful Tuesday, we have 12 ways to build your confidence, increase your confidence. Because that's what you're going to need that on this journey. So number 1, and please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel where they can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. So the 12 things to build your confidence or increase your confidence, right? Is pray. Number 2 is proclaim your uniqueness. Be okay with that. Number 3 is affirm your game plan. Plan, practice, prepare, and proceed. So affirm your game plan. What is it that you want to achieve? And even if you don't know down the road years what it is that you want to achieve, if you know that by next week, this is what you want to do. Okay. Affirm your game plan. Number 4 is celebrate every victory. Be excited that this is your day 1. Number 5 is fail forward and get up. Fail forward, get up, try again. You can't tell me it didn't work. And even if you never tried, and even if that didn't work, you learned something from it. Get up and try again. Try again. So fail forward. Number 6 is give freely. Give to others freely. And when you do that, that allows you to relax your brain just for a minute to give to someone else. So give freely. Number 7 is keep the commitment to yourself. Honor yourself with yourself. So keep your commitment to what you said you were going to do. I can tell you, once I tell you what I'm not going to do, I'm not changing my mind. That's it. My mind is set. If I ain't learned nothing from being a Waddell, being a Twitty, is once I speak my mind, I have spoken my mind. So keep your commitment to yourself. Okay. If you say you're going to do that thing, follow it all the way through. Number 8 is evaluate your relationships. What better time than Mental Health Month to evaluate your relationships? What are they serving you? What are they taking away from you? And are you okay with that? And number 9 is be patient with yourself on this journey. You got to. Number 10 is love yourself unconditionally. And number 11 is master your emotions. Don't get your feelings hurt because you're growing and others are not. Okay. Or people are growing at a different rate than you are and you want to be with them and you're still on day 1 and they're on day 29 or day 30. Master your emotions. And number 12 is be proactive. You can do this, I promise. You can. You're on an amazing journey. And it's going to be fun. You're allowed to have fun, but you also need to do the work. And so I can't remember what book I got these out of, but I got them. If I find the book, I can't remember, but I got that out of a book. Increase Your Confidence. 12 things to build your confidence. So I hope this has helped somebody today, guys. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family don't have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. This Thursday, since this is Mental Health Month, I'm going to be talking about the 5 keys to live past crazy. If you would like to register for that, bit.ly/5pass, the number 5 and the word pass, bit.ly/5pass. We're going to be talking about some steps that really will help to get you past your crazy, however you define that crazy. It doesn't have to be mine. You can define it however you want. bit.ly/5pass. I want you to have an amazing day. I want you to be peaceful, period, because there's nothing after that. I want you to go and be great today. Go and have an amazing day. It's going to be an amazing day because you have said so. And that's all that is required. So please make sure you share the show. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel where they can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. And I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.